Right, assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back to this update on BONK. And it's now Wednesday, the last day probably of January, and then from here we start the next month. At this moment, what I'm going to say about BONK is that I think BONK is down here at the retest. Okay, we are down at the retest. So first retest, a little bit of a push up, and then another retest to the downside. Okay, so Number two is that you have broken the right shoulder. Okay, so this inverse head and shoulder, 1, 2, 3, has been invalidated. Okay, I'm going to remove some of the drawings so that I can show you more clearly. And honestly, at this point, even Atom Coins is kind of not really sure what the market wants to do. But what I may say is that the market is being manipulated as badly as it can be. Yesterday, I did take a trade off BONK, expecting it to move to the upside. Why? We were moving up like this, and we had this very small bull flag that was meant to push BONK up to 1277, eventually even break above the inverse head and shoulder, retest it, and then push to 1300 and eventually even to 1500. But still you ended up invalidating a flag. Okay, this flag was taken away, my stop was taken away. Actually, it was just a 2% risk, and that's the beauty of being in the private, because the risk is absolutely calculated. We know how much we're going to lose, and no one was really bothered about the loss. So 2% wasn't a big deal, especially I tried out with $170. They took $5 away from me. Okay, right? I'm not getting bankrupt as most of people have been with BONK, who bought earlier up at 2166 or even at the all-time high, and now they're down like 70% down. No, we don't really lose like that. We just lose with some certain calculation. And by the way, today is the last day of entries for the private for February. Then after that, it's going to be closed, and the next entry is going to be on 20th. Now, I remember showing you MTIC, I remember showing you Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has a trend line manipulation. When I saw Bitcoin yesterday, its trend line almost looked like this. Okay, this is still very, very, very true. And I spent a whole day scratching my head, and I thought, what the hell is happening here? And then I saw, all right, this is also still pretty valid. You broke down, you came up like this, and you can see that this is turning into a resistance. So we still have threat of Bitcoin still dropping down. Even though yesterday I may have pretty much said things, maybe my analysis yesterday wasn't pretty much straight to the point. Some days, well, it happens. Thing is, MTIC as well. So if I show you MTIC, MTIC also kind of is being manipulated with the pattern here. You are trying to break above and hold it, but at some point it does look like, you broke down and you're trying to move back up here, and then you're trying to move back to the downside. So layers of manipulation means that you got rejected here, right? On a perfect scenario, it should have dropped from there. That's where you had the pin bars and you have the resistance, and then it would have made more sense to actually drop down. So everyone had their stop losses here, shorting the market, and then instead you push it up and you make it back into the resistance. Now the resistance is broken, and then you get to the support back here. So can it happen that there's another layer of manipulation, that you made it to the downside, fake out to the downside, and the fact that you're coming up here and fooling people that, hey, I'm retesting, everything looks good to push up, but eventually they just push it down from there? It can happen, right? ICP is also looking bad. Man, there are so many reasons for the market to go down, and there are some few reasons for the market not to go down. If some of you are saying it's going to go down, I don't have anything to say. If some of you say it's going to go up, honestly, I don't have anything to say. But if I focus on BONK itself, okay, let's actually not confuse everyone here. Okay, as far as BONK is concerned, I'm going to keep it simple, and this is the final note. You have that resistance and rejection, and then you went down. You have this another rejection here, you went down. This is your break. This is your first retest. This is your second retest. We're still good. Now, the final note here is that if BONK does make it down to 875, I call it off, okay? Bye-bye, right? This is your fake out, and you're not looking for a move up. So do work with a stop probably down towards these levels. If it does come down there, I'm pretty sure any trader out there is going to be you know, on the same side with me that, hey, yes, this has popped down, that was a fake out, and then it's going to be a bad chance. So it's positive. As long as positive, as long as you're above the resistance, support the coin. Okay, support it. It's okay. If it loses it, don't support. If it does lose support, don't support the coin. And that's it for the video. Hope this one makes it easier for you, and I'm going to see you the next one in the office.